welcome back to the channel. My name is Michelle. This is my adventure dog Feeny, and if you are new to the channel, welcome. It's great to have you here. If you're returning, hi again. We love having you here. And if you came recently from the most recent teardrop video that brought a whole bunch of new people in and a whole bunch of new views, hi. If you're wondering where the teardrop is, well, the teardrop is in the garage. Yeah. As with all new rigs and getting new setups dialed in, things go wrong, and my brake controller went wrong. So the company that manufactures my brake controller has been amazing. I spent a couple hours on a phone with a tech, but it is not acting correctly, and we think maybe there is a short in the system. So they sending me a new brake controller, and we'll get that installed so that I have trailer brakes. But until I have those trailer brakes, we are not heading out on the road. So today we're out in Superior, Arizona, enjoying the legends of the Superior Trail. Let's go. Alright, so we are on the Legends of the Superior Trail, otherwise referred to as Lost. This is actually an 11.65 mile trail, but we are just doing about 4.6 to the old Claywood Tunnel. And why this trail is really cool is this actually is the old Superior Highway. So you're gonna hear some highway noise behind me, and that's actually the bypass to the new highway. But we are following this gently sloped trail to the old Claywood Tunnel, which was the highlight of the Superior Highway back in the day. So this is actually Arizona's version of the $1 Million Highway. So if you followed my YouTube videos or you've been to Silverton, Colorado, you will know that the 550 in Silverton, Colorado is considered the $1 Million Highway. And both of the reasonings are contested, but one thing remains true is these were very expensive highways for back in their day. So that's where our nickname came from, is the cost. But there's actually some old mining remnants, some really cool bridges that then you can see the new bridge up ahead. So we're just going to be out here exploring, just getting a good hike in today and enjoying some Arizona mining history and just taking it all in, because even though this is just a hike along a road, it is still stunning. So let's go. Some old mining remnants right there. So we just walked over the old bridge and now we are walking under the new bridge, and let me tell you, the view from under here is so cool. You can hear all of the trucks and the cars going over all like the junctions on the road, but wow, it is perfectly framing these just gorgeous mountains. Such a weird juxtaposition, but wow, is it beautiful. You can see the new highway is right up there. And one interesting thing to note, I always think about this, is why this is so much more gently sloped than our more modern day highways. I read a story once about the $1 Million Highway in Silverton, and when they had changed it over from being wide enough for just horses and buggies and possibly a rail line, because it was kind of planned as a dual use. Let me switch you. I always hate, y'all, when I have like the GoPro shadow. So I'm trying to catch that more. I'm trying to get better. But anywho, when they switched it over and widened it for the automobile, what was super funny is they were still having to use horses at the very top to pull the automobiles up. because they just didn't have the power that our normal, like, modern day cars do now. So I think about it in terms of this road. The reason why it's going a different way now, because we've veered off from it, is because it's more gently sloped for the older vehicles, because they didn't have the power that ours do. So it's just, I don't know, kind of fun to think about it that way. So interesting fact, the other nickname of this road beyond the $1 Million Highway is Convict Highway, because they used convict labor to try to reduce the cost. So there actually was an old prison camp on the other side of this Queen Creek here, and that on that rock was what is believed to be some of the convicts' numbers who worked on this highway. Interesting. Okay, this part's a little bit of a burner. Oh yeah. Whew. Whew. I figured to put myself on silent too. Yeah, I'm not a professional. Not yet. But I try to get better every video. Just like every hike. You just keep getting out there. Every adventure. Just try to do little things better and better. More and more. Every time. It's like climbing. One foot. Oh, okay. We're gonna be going up for a minute. So, gonna stop talking. Bye. One of these peaks around here is Apache Leap. As I was doing some research for this trail, it's pretty wild, the stories that were coming out. You know, history that I just didn't know and wasn't, you know, popularized enough to make. I grew up in Ohio, so we didn't learn all of like the intricate details of Arizona history. But apparently there's one peak around here that Apache were cornered on and they leapt to their death. This is called Apache Leap. There's actually an old mine up there as well, I believe. So I'm kind of trying to look for like mining remnants to try to figure out which peak it is. But I think that's why I like way east and way west Phoenix really well, is because it's closer to how it would have been back then. Like the Superstition Wilderness is still wild and untamed and mysterious. So I feel less, even walking by a highway, like literally the highway's right there, I still feel like what I'm seeing beyond the power lines wasn't too far from what our ancestors saw, from what the original people, the Apache, saw, which is just really cool. Whew. So if you listen closely, you can hear the car noise disappear. That's because right up there is the new tunnel that you go through, and right up here we're going to be hitting the Claypool Tunnel, which is the old tunnel that was part of this Apache Loop. Oh, here it goes. Here is the new tunnel. And let's keep walking to the old one. Okay, that was super cool. It's clear this is a highly used climbing area as well. So if you're into rock climbing, it looks like there's quite a few routes up on these giant rocks and even inside the tunnel. But it was exactly 2.46 miles up here. So we're gonna head back and just take in the views. It's kind of cool because how you wrap around to get up here, you can see the trail the whole way down. So now we're just getting those beautiful views that were behind us the whole way down into the valley. And it's kind of cool because you get to see the old highway, or the new highway, even more. And now that you've been on this history with the crumbling road and felt what it was like to go through that tunnel, now I can see why it was something that was like lauded in the newspapers. Like, it was a huge deal because, you know, the Apache Loop took like a full day to do if you were coming from Phoenix to Miami via the old Apache Trail. And this is actually the Apache Loop. Sorry, this was a part of the Apache Loop. It cut it down to 3.5 hours. So it was like a really big deal back then to take a trip to Miami, Arizona, Superior, Arizona from downtown Phoenix. So this highway was not only a feat of engineering and really just cool views and just stunning vistas, but it actually really opened up the ability to develop out here. So really, really cool. I love that parts of this are like really crumbling underneath of you. It just makes it feel more like history. So, all right, we're gonna book it on down because down is easier. So let's go. So if you watched my last video, at the very end, I let y'all know that Feeney has a punch biopsy because he has a lump on his leg. I swear I don't do this to y'all purposely. It's just I film like 2 weeks in advance. Tomorrow's that punch biopsy, and today we kind of just got out, honestly, because I'm just still really worried about it. And I just wanted a good adventure with him and to get my mind off of it. I was feeling good, mind was off of it, and we just got the call from the vet for his pre-op instructions. So, but I promise you guys, if I know the results of the punch biopsy prior to posting this video, I'll put a little editor note in the back just so y'all know. And I'll probably post it on stories and Instagram as well, just because I know so many of you know that fear and that stress. So wish us luck, but that is tomorrow. I'm not withholding. It just, yeah, I posted that last video a week ago. So anyhow, we're gonna get back to trying to forget that tomorrow is his punch biopsy. Walking this portion, which is a little bit louder because you're below the bridge, but this is the beautiful Queen Creek, and I just think like the road is right here, and they were moving so much slower back then, and I think sometimes I get nostalgic for a history I didn't know because just moving slower, like the pace of life was just slower. I'm sure there were little pullouts to look at these views, and I can only imagine during spring, summer, and fall it's so lush down here. And just what an epic and beautiful highway. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I get very nostalgic for history. And a lot of times I know that it's not, like it was a harder time for life, but it also had its perks. It also had its perks. I'm just gonna say that. And I think the pace of life and being able to be disconnected is probably one of them. At least for me. Like there are some old tillings there from a mine. All right, we are just about done the hike. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us today. This is one of the reasons I love the Southwest, because I just feel like there's such unique ways to touch history and experience history, and you can have all these little mini adventures every weekend. So we really hope you enjoyed hanging out with us, and we will see you guys on the next adventure, wherever the road may take us. Bye guys. Fit this. I only grabbed one sock, so I wore Feeney's sock. This foot had a proper sock.